Volkswagen has a reputation problem, and honestly, it earned most of it. Ask around and you'll hear the same greatest hits. The check engine light that became a permanent dashboard decoration, the plastic water pump that grenaded at 70,000 miles, the timing chain tensioner that ate an engine for breakfast. Somewhere along the way, used VW became shorthand for cheap now, expensive forever. But here's the part nobody mentions. VW reliability isn't a brand-wide verdict. It's an engine and year lottery, and a handful of those tickets are genuinely winners. Same badge, same showroom, wildly different outcomes. Pick the wrong 2.0T and you're funding your mechanic's boat. Pick one of these 6 and you get German road manners, a cabin that feels a class above the price, and a car that just keeps starting. So we went looking for the exceptions. Not the ones VW forums hope are reliable, but the models with the boring maintenance histories, the 200,000-mile odometers, and the owners who never learned their service advisor's first name. Let's get into it. Car number 6, Volkswagen Passat, 2012 to 2019, 2.5-liter 5-cylinder and 1.8T. Start here because the Passat is the one that surprises people most, mainly because they've already written it off. When VW built the NMS Passat in Chattanooga, enthusiasts revolted. It was bigger, softer, cheaper inside, and stripped of the tight European feel the old B6 had. The forums called it decontented. What they didn't say out loud is that decontented also meant simplified, and simplification is exactly what a used Volkswagen needs. The 2.5-liter 5-cylinder is the star of the story. It's an oddball engine, narrow angle, naturally aspirated, wheezy on paper at around 170 horsepower, and it has almost nothing to go wrong. No turbo, no high-pressure fuel pump feeding a direct injection system, no intake valves slowly disappearing under carbon deposits, just a timing chain, port injection, and an engine that will idle in a Costco parking lot for the next decade without complaint. Plenty of these have crossed 200,000 miles on nothing more than oil, coolant, and a set of plugs. The 1.8T that replaced it in 2014 deserves credit too. It's the EA888 Gen 3, the version where VW finally fixed the earlier engine sins. The water pump is no longer a fragile plastic time bomb. The timing chain tensioner was redesigned after the infamous Gen 2 failures, and VW added port injection alongside direct injection specifically to wash the valves clean. That last detail matters more than any spec sheet number. What to look for? Pass on the 3.6-liter VR6 unless you love fuel bills, and check that any 1.8T has had its carbon buildup and DSG service records in order, though most of these came with the conventional 6-speed automatic, which is the easier ownership story anyway. What you're paying? Clean examples in the $8,000 to $14,000 range, with a back seat that embarrasses cars twice the price. The Passat won't thrill you, that's the entire point. Car number 5, Volkswagen Golf SportWagen 2015 to 2019, 1.8T, EA888 Generation 3. The MK7. Golf is the car that quietly repaired Volkswagen's engineering reputation while everyone was busy arguing about Dieselgate. Here's the context that gets skipped. The Mark 7 arrived on VW's MQB platform, which wasn't a facelift. It was a from-scratch redesign of how the company builds cars. Fewer parts, better packaging, tighter tolerances, and critically, a lot less of the improvised complexity that made earlier Golfs fragile. The Mark 5 and Mark 6 were the generations that taught owners to fear German ownership costs. The Mark 7 is where that curve bends the other way. Under the hood, the 1.8-liter EA888 Gen 3 is doing the heavy lifting. This is the same engine that saves the late Passat, but in a car that weighs several hundred pounds less, which means it's rarely working hard. Low stress equals long life. The redesigned water pump, revised chain tensioner, and the dual injection setup that keeps intake valves clean all carry over. Owners regularly report 150,000 plus miles with nothing beyond fluids, brakes, and a coil pack or two. The SportWagen version deserves its own mention. It's the practical person's cheat code. Hatchback reliability with wagon cargo space, sold in numbers small enough that used prices never inflated the way SUV prices did. You get more usable room than a compact crossover, better fuel economy, and a lower center of gravity that makes it genuinely pleasant to drive. What to look for? The 5-speed and 6 5-speed manuals are bulletproof and cheaper to live with. If you go automatic, the conventional torquey converter unit in the 1.8T is the low-drama choice. Check for water ingress in the rear footwells on wagons. Clogged sunroof drains are the one recurring annoyance. What you're paying, roughly $10,000 to $16,000, depending on trim and mileage. This is the Golf that finally deserved the reputation the Golf always claimed to have. Number 4. Volkswagen Tiguan 2018 to 2022, second generation. The first Tiguan is the reason people flinch at this name. It ran the EA888 Gen 1 and Gen 2, the engines responsible for most of VW's horror stories. Timing chain tensioners that failed without warning. Oil consumption bad enough to trigger a class action. Owners carrying a quart in the trunk like it was normal. The second generation Tiguan is a completely different vehicle, and the gap between the two is wider than almost any generational jump in the segment. VW moved it onto MQB and stretched it into a genuine mid-size crossover, long enough for an optional third row, which no competitor in its price bracket offers. But the important change is under the hood. The 2.0T here is the EA888 Gen 3B, tuned for torque rather than peak power. It makes its 221 pound-feet down at 1,600 revolutions per minute and holds it, which means the engine spends its life loafing instead of straining. Add the Miller cycle combustion setup and a variable geometry turbo, and you get an engine that's doing less work to move more weight. That's the whole reliability equation right there. The transmission story got better too. The old Tiguan's dry clutch DSG was a maintenance liability. The Gen 2 uses a conventional 8-speed automatic from Ascent. Torquey converter, fluid changes, no drama. What to look for? The 2018 model year had a scattering of early build electrical gremlins, so 2019 and newer is the safer buy. Check that the carbon cleaning has been done or budgeted for around the 80,000 mile mark, and be honest about the third row. It exists, but it's for children and short trips. What you're paying, $16,000 to $24,000, and it undercuts a comparable RAV4 or CR-V by a meaningful margin because the badge scares people off. Their fear is your discount. Number 3, Volkswagen Jetta 2019 to 2024, 1.4T EA211. Every list like this has a car people skip past because it looks boring. This is that car, and skipping it would be a mistake. The 7th generation Jetta did something unusual for a modern car. It got simpler. VW dropped the outgoing 1.8T and fitted the 1.4-liter EA211 turbo across nearly the entire lineup. Smaller engine, less power on paper, 147 horsepower, which sounds thin until you drive it and realize the torque arrives at 1,400 revolutions per minute, and the car weighs about as much as a bag of groceries. The EA211 is the sleeper hit of VW's engine catalog. It's a different family entirely from the EA888 that generates all the forum anxiety. The turbocharger is integrated into the exhaust manifold, which keeps temperatures manageable and cuts down on the heat cycling stress that kills turbos. The timing belt runs in oil and is rated for the life of the engine, and because it's tuned for economy rather than performance, it never gets pushed hard enough to break things. Real-world highway numbers regularly land north of 40 miles per gallon. Then there's the part that actually matters for a used buyer: parts availability and repair cost. The Jetta is VW's volume seller in North America. Every independent shop has seen one. Every parts counter stocks the filters. You are not waiting 3 weeks for a control arm to arrive from Germany. That alone separates it from half the cars in VW's lineup. What to look for? The 6-speed manual is still offered and it's the most durable option, but the 8-speed automatic here is a conventional torque converter unit, not a DSG, so either choice is safe. Skip the GLI unless you want the 2.0T and the maintenance schedule that comes with it. What you're paying, $14,000 to $20,000, with a factory warranty still running on later examples. It's the least exciting car on this list, and probably the smartest one on it. Number 2, Volkswagen Golf TDI Jetta, TDI 2009 to 2014, 2.0-liter common rail diesel. Yes, these are the Dieselgate cars. Stay with me, because the story most people know is only half the story. When the scandal broke, VW bought back hundreds of thousands of these. The ones that stayed on the road got a free emissions fix, an extended warranty on emissions components, and a cash settlement meant for the owner. What they did not get was a defective engine. The EA189 diesel was never mechanically flawed. The cheating was software written to detect the test cycle. The iron block, the common rail injection, the forged internals, all of that was built to European diesel standards, which means built to run functionally forever. And they do. The 2.0 TDI is the engine that made VW's reputation in Europe before it damaged it in America. Torque arrives early and hard, around 236 pound-feet, so the engine loafs through daily driving. Diesel is a lubricant as well as a fuel, so cylinder walls and injectors wear slowly. Highway mileage in the mid-40s is routine, and the tank range approaches 600 miles. Well-kept examples crossing 300,000 miles are common enough that they barely get a comment on owner forums. The market distortion is the real opportunity here. The scandal permanently poisoned the resale value of a car that has nothing wrong with it. You are buying a stigma discount on a genuinely over-engineered drivetrain. What to look for? This is the one car on the list where documentation is non-negotiable. Confirm the emissions fix was performed and check whether any remaining warranty transferred. Ask about the high-pressure fuel pump. Failures were rare but catastrophic when they happen, usually from a misfueling incident. Timing belt is a hard interval item, roughly every 130,000 miles, and it is not optional. Verify the DPF and EGR system are healthy, especially if the car lived a short trip commuting life. What you're paying, $7,000 to $13,000 for something that will outlast most cars costing double. Everyone else saw a scandal. What was actually left behind was a bargain. Number 1, Volkswagen Golf Mark IV or Jetta Mark IV 1999 to 2005. 2.0-liter, 8-valve, 2-point slow. The number 1 spot goes to an engine that enthusiasts spent 20 years mocking, and it earned the position by outliving every single one of the cars that made fun of it. The ABA and its successor, the BEV, is a 2.0-liter 8-valve 4-cylinder making about 115 horsepower. It is genuinely slow. 0 to 60 takes double digits. Forum culture nicknamed it the 2-point slow and treated it as the punishment for not buying a GTI or a VR6. Here is what that mockery obscured. The engine has a cast iron block. It's a non-interference design, meaning if the timing belt snaps, the pistons and valves never meet. You get towed, not a new engine. It uses port fuel injection, so carbon buildup on intake valves simply never happens. There's no turbocharger, no direct injection, no variable valve timing, no plastic water pump impeller, no chain tensioner waiting to fail. Every single component that generates VW horror stories in newer cars is absent from this engine because it was never fitted in the first place. The result is a motor that treats 250,000 miles as a midpoint. Oil changes, a timing belt every 60,000 miles, coolant, and it keeps going. Mechanics who despise working on modern Volkswagens will tell you straight that the Mark IV 2.0 is the exception. The car around it holds up too. The Mark IV is the generation where VW's interiors punch dramatically above their class. Soft touch surfaces, blue and red instrument lighting, a solid door thunk that cars twice the price couldn't match. 2 decades later, those cabins still feel considered in a way that most 2003 economy cars do not. What to look for? Age is now the enemy, not mileage. Window regulators fail. Assume you'll replace at least one. Check for water in the footwells from clogged sunroof and plenum drains, which is the single most common cause of electrical faults in these cars. Inspect the coolant temperature sensor and ignition coil, both cheap and both known wear items. And find one with the manual transmission if you can. The 4-speed automatic is the weakest link in the whole package. What you're paying, $2,500 to $6,000, which is less than the repair bill on a lot of the cars that used to pass it on the highway. The slowest Volkswagen of its era became the one that's still running. That's not irony, that's just what happens when you remove everything that can break. So there it is, 6 Volkswagens that quietly ignored the reputation everyone assigned them. Notice the pattern? Almost everyone earned its spot by having less. Fewer turbos, simpler injection, conventional transmissions, parts that don't hide behind 8 hours of labor. The most reliable VW is usually the one the enthusiasts skip. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 would you actually put in your driveway? Or is there a Volkswagen you've owned that racked up serious miles and never let you down? Drop it in the comments. And if there's a model on this list you think got ranked way too low, say so. I'll read everyone. If this saved you from a bad purchase or talked you into a good one, hit subscribe and stick around. We dig into used cars that are worth your money every single week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.